Genesis, the luxury division of Hyundai, launched a few years back here in the United States. I want to say around 2015 or so. On the backs of sedans, we had the G80, the G90, and the G70. Now, it's all been confirmed at this point that the G70 is going to be discontinued, the smallest sedan in the lineup. And in Korea today, they announced the new electrified G80. Now, the electrified G80 is probably still my favorite EV I've ever driven. It's great luxury, great power. It's really efficient. It charges fast, and it looks great. It's an old school luxury feel with a new school powertrain. It's fantastic. Well, they just made it enormous, and I have a feeling that the G90, the flagship sedan, could be on the chopping block. If you guys love updates on Korean cars, smash the like button. Genesis is a very impressive luxury brand. I see them everywhere where I live. The most successful Genesis dealership in the entire United States, possibly even the world in terms of a volume perspective, is literally in my town of Naples, Florida. Now, what we're talking about right here is the new electrified G80. It's not sold at volume here in the United States. EVs right now are not seeing a lot of success. But what we're seeing here could absolutely modify their lineup as we go into the future. You know, sedans in general are not selling well, and then you make them electrified, and look, the Model 3 sales, even though it's just got a refresh, those sales are in the gutter right now. The G80, if we go to, and this is the old one, which is still fantastic. Look at my area, 2023, they keep dropping the price. It's less than $45,000 and less than 2,000 miles. That, I mean, I don't know how much this vehicle's worth. That's the thing with EVs. They plummet after initial ownership. No one really knows what they're, or how fast they're going to lose their value. So if you get a good lease deal, that's the best way to do it. Even though this seems like an amazing deal at $45,000, what is it really worth? That's the thing. The market is still deciding that, and it's still coming down in price. Very, very interesting. But I want to go back to the G80 here. On the left is the new G80. On the right is the one it's replacing. We have new wheel styles. We have these upgraded headlights. They're even more sharp before. They're more like the G90s. They also have improved the charging port, which is nestled right here. It's still in the same spot, but is now motorized, which is pretty luxurious. The Audi e-trons, I remember having motorized charging ports. Now, the bottom portion has been cleaned up a little bit, in my opinion, while also looking maybe a hair bit sportier, but it still looks very much like a G80, just subtle changes here. And I like that Genesis didn't overstyle the G80. They have a reputation of overstyling just a little too much. But here it looks spot on. I think it's a gorgeous looking luxury sedan. But you can just see back here, this is, I mean, the wheelbase has been stretched 5 inches. It is now 123.6 inch wheelbase. This thing is massive. And so we have a bigger battery. So the old model had an 87.2 kilowatt hour battery. The new one has a 95.4 kilowatt hour battery. We don't know range in EPA quite yet, but there's no way it is not well over 300 miles of range. I want to say I got like 350 miles in here in Florida with my testing on the previous G80 electrified with a bigger battery. I don't know. Can we stretch it to 370, 380 miles with the type of driving I do? It'll be interesting. And let's go to interior versus interior. We have some changes as well. Now, I have no problems with the G80 interior at all. I love it. But if you notice a couple things here, instead of the screen sitting on the dash, they have lowered it and got rid of this 14-inch screen and the gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, and they've given us one big OLED screen, a 27-inch OLED screen versus the 14.5-inch screen here. I love this marble patterning here. I hope we see that carry over in some shape or form. It looks like it's here and maybe in the middle of the dash now. I mean, even the steering wheel is different here with the design of it. It's a little bit more similar to other Genesis models at this point. I like the old school steering wheel though. Some people hate the 2-spoke steering wheel. I love it. All right, the 3-spoke, it's fine. Genesis has great steering wheels. The back seat as well. I'm just gonna make this bigger here. The back seat on the new G80 electric. Look at all this legroom. So now you have this VIP lounge, which is similar to the G90 with these screens in the back. I don't know if these are massaging seats. I guess we have to wait to see, but I'm sure they're heated and ventilated. I'm sure they're memory. You have all these controls back here, which reminds me so much of the G90, or what my girls remember to this day as the Queen's car. They dubbed it the Queen's car. And look at the stitching on the doors. It just looks so luxurious here. Vents on the ceiling. I think that's what that is. Maybe that is a drop-down mirror. I bet that's a vanity mirror. It's hard to tell. All right, these images just got released. They're not the highest quality, and it is very hard to find information on this G80. Now, the reason is they haven't released a whole lot of information on it. Some of this information I'm piecing over from Car and Driver. Some of it I'm piecing over from the Korean Car Blog. And so we're still getting details of this vehicle, but my goodness, I love this blue interior and all the details, the checker mark patterns going on. It's very, very beautiful. And these screens are just, I don't really like screens in the back, but if you have this much leg room, they shouldn't impede the ingress and egress of the passengers. All right. So let's see, what other pictures do we have? I think that's about it. All right. Again, gorgeous. I love the new wheel designs. I like how unique they are. Let's see here. The rear of the vehicle has been changed just slightly, I would say. And the side profile here is where you can really see that stretched wheelbase and the longer windows. And when you have a wheelbase this big at this point, what's the point of the G90? If you have luxury like this, what's the point of the G90? So the thing is, some customers might not want a fully electric big sedan. They might want to have gasoline powered engine. And that's why maybe the G90 sticks around for a while with that twin turbo V6 3.5 liter, but that's also supercharged with a 48 volt mild hybrid system. It's very complex. This seems like, I don't know which would be more reliable, but honestly, the powertrain on this electric vehicle is far more simple with just a battery pack and dual motors. We don't have information if these motors have been upgraded here for the G80 electric. I would assume that they have, but we'll see. Coming soon, August 2024 for the 2025 electrified G80. That's for Korea, though. I don't know when we'll start seeing it stateside. I hope it's by the end of this year, but time will tell. And we should get more information on this beautiful sedan in the near future. The current G80 electric is around $75,000 US. At least on the new market. On the used market, you can get a gently used one for $45K. $45K. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd what these are priced at for what is my favorite electric sedan on the market. But in other Genesis news, they unveiled the X Grand Racer VGT concept at Busan International Mobility Show. This is a vehicle that is in Gran Turismo. I'm not going to get too excited over it because it is extremely conceptualized. And all these, I feel like there's been so many vehicles that Genesis has conceptualized, from the big luxury coupe and convertible that we haven't seen yet, to this vehicle. And this is kind of giving us some excitement for their Magma series, which is their AMG or M series, whatever you want to look at it. And I am excited for the Magma series, but this one isn't doing for me. I know it's based off the X Grand Berlinetta concept. That is a mouthful. And that vehicle is seen in the background here on the left, and it's in the back here. I think it's a cleaner looking design than this, video game speed racer sort of thing. In the video game, this hybrid setup has over 1,500 horsepower and over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. It's a V6, and that V6 delivers 870 horsepower by itself and 790 pound-feet of torque at 10,000 RPM. And there's a front E motor generating additional 670 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. So rear-wheel drive for the V6, I would assume, and then front wheel drive for the E motor, and they combine for all wheel drive and over 1,500 horsepower. Again, full on concept, 10,000 RPM V6. Don't see that ever coming to production. Would I love to? Yeah, of course. Of course, I'd love to see some cool stuff come from Genesis. Genesis is, they need to expand into performance a little bit more. Their electrified options, like I said, are fantastic. Their non-electrified options are fantastic, but they are pretty much luxury or power luxury. They're not necessarily performance luxury like we see with the Germans quite yet. And so I'm still looking forward to that the first Magma vehicles are going to break through and hopefully show something really, really special that the Hyundai N brand has done in the past. But yeah, the electrified G80, is this going to kill off the G90? I'll see you guys comment on that down below. It is a gorgeous sedan, and I cannot wait to drive it. My goodness. Oh, this interior is to die for. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.